Hello and welcome back to the Atma Podcast, where we give you the tips, tools, and strategies you need to build, launch, grow, and scale your business. Joining us today is Joni Wilson, Banking Center President for Susser Bank here in Arlington. Joni has over 40 years of experience in commercial banking and commercial real estate lending, and also has been with Susser Bank since 2008. She is a proud graduate of the University of Texas at Arlington with a degree in finance and completed her executive banking leadership training at LSU. Beyond banking, Joni is deeply embedded in the Arlington community, serving as the chair of the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce, a board member of the Tarrant County College Foundation, and an advisor to the multiple nonprofit organizations. Her leadership has been recognized by the Tom Vandegrift Leadership Award and the Chamber's Hero Award. And today, she continues to advocate for businesses by helping them access capital, mitigate risk, and grow sustainably. Joni, welcome to the show. Today's episode is sponsored by NuvoDesk Coworking, the home of Arlington's most accessible production-ready podcast studio. Whether you're launching your first show or leveling up your content game, NuvoDesk gives you a professional studio environment where you can walk in, hit record, and create. But NuvoDesk is more than just a podcast room. It's fully equipped business hub with private offices, conference rooms, and workshop and event spaces designed to help you host, collaborate, and grow. If you're ready to elevate your brand, your business, or your voice, book your next recording or your next tour at nuvodesk.com. Create here, work here, build here. Today's episode is brought to you by Nuvio, the all-in-one business platform designed to help you build, manage, and scale with confidence. With Nuvio, you can build your own website in minutes, manage all of your leads and customers through a powerful CRM. And if you're in the restaurant industry, you can run your entire operations using Nuvio's modern point of sale system. Whether you're a startup, a service provider, or a full-scale restaurant, Nuvio gives you everything you need in one place. Simple, connected, and built to grow with you. Discover why entrepreneurs are switching to Nuvio. Visit Nuvio.com and run your entire business on one platform. Well, welcome back once again. My name is Brian, CEO, co-founder of Advent Trinity Marketing Agency, and we have a very special guest, Joni Wilson with Susser Bank. Joni, thank you for joining us today. Say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate the invitation. As you said, Joni Wilson, Susser Bank, been in banking 43 years.
Wow.
Have not really had a different career than this. Really enjoy getting to know folks in the city of Arlington, of where I've lived my entire life and gone to school here.
You must love banking.
So, yeah, love banking and love Arlington.
There you go.
There's never been a reason to move out of the city because you're in the middle of the Metroplex and 20 minutes away from the airport.
You know, one thing I didn't say in your introduction is that you are the chair of the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce this year. So congratulations. How has that been going?
It's been going well. It's busy.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, all the calendar events that you can attend, you try to make the most of them. But it's a great experience. Started doing that in October, so I'm in the middle of the year.
Awesome. A lot of things. And, you know, Michael Jacobson was just on the show right before you. And we were just talking about the Chamber and it's, you know, all the amazing things that the Chamber does. But we're here to talk about you and your experience at Susser Bank. And Susser Bank has been open since 1959 and has remained a community-focused, you know, bank. So from your perspective, what foundational values have allowed Susser Bank to remain relevant and trusted for more than 6 decades?
The main values are the same that you would want to have for any business, to be relationship-driven, to have clients that you form that relationship with, to be transparent with them, to be honest with them, accountable, all those same things. For the people in Arlington that have known Affiliated Bank back in the days, that's who we were and we still are. We're now called Susser Bank.
Yeah.
So it's been that way for about 7 years. But I've been there 18 years now at that location and just really value the community bank spirit and in banking and really getting to know people
Yeah.
We're there, we answer the phone, we meet people in person, and that's what that's all about.
It's relationships.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like I think we just touched on this in multiple, not just the chamber, but in everything. You could be B2C, which is business to customer, business to business. But at the end of the day, we're human to human, and we're here to help each other, right? And to have a servant and service heart. And and you've been doing this now, like you said, 43 years in banking. And what shaped your philosophy early, to basically shape your leadership and your responsibility? Like, walk me through that.
As I think about that question, I think about the perfectionist mother that I had. She's no longer with us, but she was one that instilled in me that you've got to be accountable, you got to do it right. You don't give an answer immediately, you research it because you don't want to be wrong.
Yeah.
So those things, I think, developed in me how organization's important, keeping good records, all those kind of things. It's not about being perfect, but it's about, if you don't know, you dig into those resources and find out the answer or a solution,
right?
Or a suggestion.
You do your due diligence, right? And
exactly.
And you've kind of have ownership. You just said it too. It's like, don't just respond. Don't just.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that. We react. We get an email and we get a call, or sometimes I read emails, and I've learned this, and those listening, this is probably the best advice I can give anybody is, before you respond,
right,
process it.
Yeah.
Make yourself a task for later. Don't respond. What's the urgency of responding right now? It's more of a reaction, and you could say the wrong thing at the wrong time.
And it'll be in writing.
Exactly.
That's scary sometimes.
Exactly. So just making sure that you do your due diligence, right? And so when working with business owners, why is knowing your customer more than just a banking principle, and how does it shape long-term success?
Knowing your customer, in my banking career in the early days, it was required to know them because you had to document. And then when the Patriot Act came around and 9/11 and all that, you really have to know who your customer is for that documentation. But more importantly to me, it's that relationship. How am I going to know what Brian needs in his business without getting to know him and how he thinks, and what are his aspirations? What's his business plan? What does he want to do? I may not have all the answers, but if I don't know what the goals are, then I can't do my due diligence and my research,
right?
And that kind of thing. But it goes back to the relationship part, and you can't do that, in my mind, with online banking.
Yeah,
that's a great feature and service to have when I'm not in the office, but you've got to have that connection.
And sometimes you just need the advice. Finance is very similar to marketing, where it's not simple. Everybody says, "What's it?" Expenses and income, and marketing is leads, but it's so much more complicated. And people, if it wasn't, then there wouldn't be people like us to help them and guide them.
For us.
Exactly.
Right.
So you emphasize that no successful organization is built by one person alone. And so how does teamwork show up in effective banking leadership?
What I enjoy about that is everybody wants a good team. Again, I'm not going to know all the answers. So if I can meet a business owner and bring my team with me, expert in lending, I can do. I can talk about checking accounts. I can talk about treasury and ideas for growth and projections. But if I can bring that team with me, it's a more enjoyable visit, much less. If I bring my 43 years of experience and I bring two more people, I'm going to bring their 43 years as well.
Yeah.
And it's just a great combination to bring to the client. A recent call that I'm just coming to mind with is a long-time nonprofit in the area, And I brought my boss's boss, actually, been in Arlington for a long time, brought an expert in the treasury management area. We covered every question they had. We visited for 2 hours, and we had a great time.
Yeah. Well, it's just like you got to have. Sometimes we forget to have joy in what we do.
Enjoy what you're doing.
Exactly. And you probably know this, but our core values actually come from the fruit of the Spirit, which is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Joy, though, somebody said this, and it stuck with me, is that sometimes we think, well, joy is just going to happen. Joy is just going to happen. And somebody said, no, joy is a choice, one. And joy also is something that you have to kind of develop with your people that are around you, right? And so if we have a team, we have to develop that culture of enjoying what we do, finding joy in the little things, right? And I think that's crucial. It's crucial to any organization or any business, right?
Well, we spend a lot of time with our work family.
Yeah, we consider it as a family now. Yeah.
So you need to enjoy it or do something that you do enjoy.
Exactly. How many people think that banking relationships is transactional when it shouldn't be, right?
Yeah, it really isn't. There's so many things that we can offer and services, but I can show you all the products and services, but it's the value that you and I can share, and trade off from each other. There's just so much more there to offer, and that's what makes what I do very enjoyable. It might not be something I can do for you today, or it's an answer of not now, not a no, because someone needs to work on this, and this before we can do that kind of loan or whatever it is.
Yeah. So question for you, because you've been doing this for 43 years, but what made you want? Because are you focused on commercial, right?
Commercial lending, commercial banking, yeah.
And so, what made you want to focus in that specifically?
The variety.
The variety.
The variety outweighs the consumer side of it. If I'm in home mortgage lending, then it's obviously enjoyable to help people get in new homes, but that's the product. In business, there's so many avenues. We can help with lines of credits and equipment notes and get you in a building. We can help you expand your building. We can build a new one. There's a wide variety of types of lending, and I think that's what pulled that interest in for me right off the bat.
And how many businesses have you helped? Can you even count them?
Oh my gosh, no. I really couldn't.
Have you and you've built relationships with these
relationships, many different businesses.
And so you've seen all kinds of businesses stumble and also succeed, right? So tell me a little bit about that. Like what, how's that experience with you?
It's you put yourself as a lender, as a banking officer, you put yourself in their shoes a lot. So you try to understand where they're coming from. If something stumbles, or a case, an example right now is fraud is just prevalent everywhere. So this happens many times a week, where a client will call and say, a check ran through and it's not mine. And I can immediately, in my mind, step in their shoes and say, well, have you done this? Have you done this? And that's the value we offer. Well, maybe you should have done this.
Right.
We all can't watch our checking account every day, all day long. Yeah. You need to put features into place. And that's probably the biggest product I sell right now, if you call it sell. It's what we offer and everybody takes in is we can help you automatically look at every item coming in, and then if something doesn't match, we're texting and emailing you that morning early.
Yeah.
There's just so many ways that we can help when businesses hit a roadblock or stumble, like you said.
And it's
just amazing.
You kind of answered one of my questions that we were going to ask about the fraudulent.
Right.
And speaking of that, that's actually happened to us before, where they called us and they were like, "Hey, there's this check that and it wasn't ours, right?" And
it's happening to everybody.
It is kind of crazy, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just the world, right? We have to,
It is.
we have to think about the good and the ugly, right?
And be preventative.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
So you often speak about sharing knowledge as growth strategy and educating and strengthening not just bankers but business owners. You are now the chair of the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce, and so not just in the banking but in the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. Like, what spurred you to kind of obviously you love helping business owners. If you didn't, you wouldn't be a commercial banker and the chair of the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. So tell us a little about sharing knowledge and growth strategies with them.
I think that's just something everybody has to do, especially at the time of life I'm in. For everything that I've learned and done and received, we all need to give back.
Yeah.
So is that through volunteering, that kind of thing? I think that was initially, it might not have been initially, but that's part of being part of the chamber.
Sure.
Is you want to get to know people, you want to share your knowledge, you want to meet new people and network. Yeah, we're looking for more business. We're all, had that goal in mind as well. But why not broaden that and get to know people just in general? And that's what drives me now, is really getting to know people. Maybe I can help them, maybe I can't. Maybe they ask me a question like, who's the best plumber in town? Well, I'm going to give you a couple ideas.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what that all is. It's sharing, because that's going to come back in a good way.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
It does. Like, it's kind of like a theme that's been going on with multiple of our guests, is like giving back to the community,
right?
Being a servant, and not just selling, but serving. Because we're here for the short term. I mean, really, we're not going to be here forever.
Right.
And the generation that's that's coming up, we've got to give back to them. Right. And give them guidance, and because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to replace us. Right.
Exactly. And you want to help groom them. Exactly.
Because otherwise, they're the future.
Right. They're the future. They're the ones that are going to be taking care of me and assisted living. Right.
Exactly.
Why not share?
Yeah.
Share the knowledge. Yeah.
And it's you're a UTA grad, and we've actually hired people from UTA, UNT, TCC. A lot of our a lot of us students now that we actually have interns from the Dan Dipert. It's important to show them what it looks like, right? And to nurture them personally, saying, "Hey, this is how the real world works."
Right.
sometimes
expert.
Yeah, exactly. Or AI, right? Oh,
that's scary enough.
But I think you're right. Is when we think about growing, it's really about nurturing, and that's the same thing when it comes to marketing. Is like we educate. It's like, hey, you have to nurture. People buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? People do business with people they know, like, and trust. If they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, then it's going to be a very hard sell, no matter how you do it. But growing at the end of the day is nurturing. And to your point, we're nurturing the next generation. Yes. We're nurturing our employees. We're nurturing our, people that we're doing business with. I think that's important to have that mindset. Yes, so from a banker's perspective, how does honesty, especially when delivering tough truths, impact long-term client relationships? And I've got some stuff to tell you about on a marketing standpoint, but on a banker standpoint, what does that look like?
Well, and I kind of mentioned, sometimes we have to get that answer that someone doesn't want to hear, that they don't get what they asked for. And I always put it as, we can't do that now. it's a no right now, but it's just a not now. Case in point, I have a company in the area that I worked with 5 years ago for a good year, trying to figure out how to do an expansion loan, build a new place, and add on to all their locations. And the experience was long. It was trying. It took a while to get stuff from them. Got to have your financials in order. That's a big thing. And then you're always going back and trying to do homework and bring it back. Anyways, the short to that story is I couldn't do it then. 2 years later, which was about 6 months ago, that same person called me again. I'd like to look at this kind of deal. This is someone I told no. But I spent time. We shared knowledge. It was a growing experience. They got their deal done somewhere else. They're doing okay.
That's awesome.
But it was an honor for me to hear from them again.
Yeah.
Because, even though it was a no answer, it was still a relationship, right?
It's funny you say that because no, it's some business owners and entrepreneurs, we're sometimes too scared to say no. And Jeff Williams, who was on earlier, he actually had to say no to Jerry Jones. Right. And how can you imagine saying no to Jerry Jones? Right. I just had a conversation with the customer just this week, and it was about branding. And she was really struggling with branding, and it was like, well, this logo does this, and this branding is doing this, and it's kind of all over the place. And I was just like, well, branding is about you. It's about the personality truly of the CEO. It's the leader. Right. And it stems from there, and it breathes life into the rest of the culture of the organization. Anyway, so I told a story because this question reminded me of the story. I said, do you know why we chose the color royal blue for part of like the main color besides black and white?
In your branding.
In their branding, she was just like, no, tell me why. And I said, royal blue stands for loyalty. And I'm going to tell you a story. When we first started this organization, the show Suits was like big, right? Is oddly enough, my customer is also an attorney, so Suits is not the real like. So, exactly. But anyway, so I'm telling you the story because Harvey Specter, the main protagonist of the show, in the first season, by the way, it's best season in my personal opinion, because he shows his personality. He goes to the customer hires him and says, hey, I want you to do this job, and I want you're the best closer, and this is the result that I want. And so he comes back, he has a result, he has the papers, and he gives it to the customer, and the customer is like, this isn't what I asked for. And he said, you're right. It's not, because it's the best deal you're going to get. And here's why you're going to take it. Because I'm not here to earn your business. I'm here to keep your business. And I think we forget that it's not about the short. It's not transactional.
Right.
It's about the relationship.
Right.
And building the relationship. And so what did he say? I don't want your money. I want your loyalty. And so Royal Blue, we don't want your money. We want a relationship. We want to grow together and build together. I think that we have that same value, right?
You want it to be long term.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have been doing this for 43 years.
Yeah.
So as leaders scale their organizations, what mindset shift must occur to move from operator to legacy builder?
We are all, I think about myself in this question. We're all independent. We want to do it. We want to do it right. But we have to grow our team.
Yes.
And I see business owners come in and they're ready to get to the next level, and it's the owner that does everything and can't keep up with their books and can't do this and do emails, put out bids, do collections on receivables because they're too busy doing the main job, which was their credential for opening their company. You've got to be able to hire those resources to set yourself up to scale. Right? you've got to be able to and plan that and have the working capital. And I'm not going to fund all that. I can't do 100% financing on deals like that. We have to do it as a partnership because it's a commitment from the client and the bank. So when I think of that question, I think about that you're not maybe completely set up to get to the next level, because bankers are going to look at your financials, how are you set up, ask about your staff, where you're located, do you have enough room? I mean, it just goes on and on.
You kind of said it too. Like, how can you build a legacy? Because a legacy is supposed to live even without you.
Yes.
And how can you build a legacy with if you're still in that legacy,
in the middle of it?
Exactly.
Right.
And if it can't work without you, then it can't.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a legacy.
And you can't be the only one approving everything all day long and answering all the questions. It's hard to let go.
Yeah.
But you've got to have a staff that you can rely on.
Yeah.
To support you.
Absolutely. Yeah. When advising clients, how do you balance realism and optimism, especially in challenging economic cycles?
It's always challenging, right? I can remember when the pandemic set in and we all of a sudden went home and the PPP loans came out. I had to learn that product really, really fast by myself. Everybody did because we were all at home, and we had to implement really quick. It's in the same way of realistic and being optimistic. I get clients that come in and say, this is my idea, and I want $1 million to do this, this, and this, and this. But they don't think about realistically, well, what part are you going to come to the table with? Yeah. Just like I mentioned a minute ago, we don't do 100% financing. So that's just kind of one way to look at that. I appreciate the clients that come in with their optimism. Yeah. Because they're visionary. They got the idea and all that. But we've still got to document it, put it on paper. Has your CPA looked at it? Yeah. Has your attorney looked at it? Has your team looked at it? Yeah. Has your staff bought into it? And I guess that's how I compare those two things.
And it's hard too because you have to have optimism to motivate and inspire. Yes. But you also have to have realism when you're making data-driven decisions. Yeah. Right? And so I think it's a hard balance. It truly is. It's something that's tough, right? Right. But Joni, thank you again for jumping onto this podcast. We appreciate your insights. And there you have it. You've had Joni Wilson, the president of Susser Bank here in Arlington, and you did a well job. So we appreciate you jumping on this show. And once again, my name is Brian Acosta. I'm the CEO, co-founder of Adventry Marketing Agency. We enjoyed Joni being on the show and showing us, the insides of what it looks like with commercial banking and her experience. And we loved having her on the show. We hope you guys are going to continue listening to the rest of the podcast and the different guests that are coming on. We are going to keep on chugging along and helping you build, launch, grow, and scale your businesses. So keep on listening. We will see you guys next time.